Hello and welcome back to the Second Chance to Live channel here on YouTube. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to watch this video presentation. Thank you. In today's video presentation, I'm going to be sharing the first part of a article that I wrote several weeks ago called Second Chance to Live Action Steps Revisited and Overview. This is the first part of a two-part article series that I wrote in follow-up to accepting myself when friends and family cannot, a two-part article series that I wrote. And before that, finding hope in our powerlessness and unmanageability, a two-part series I wrote previous to that. I would encourage you to watch each one of these two previous series, as each of these series builds upon the previous one. I would also encourage and invite you to have family members and friends subscribe to the Second Chance to Live channel here on YouTube, so that when I do publish new articles, new video presentations, that they will be alerted and receive the opportunity to be able to watch the presentations. As you watch this presentation and questions come to mind, feel free to ask those questions. All questions are good questions, and I look forward to hearing from you. In the event that you'd like to leave a comment, all comments are welcomed, and I also would love to hear from you. To read the article, I'll put my glasses back on my face. This particular article is a little longer than previous article series I've written in the last several weeks, so please do stay with me to the end. Thank you. This is the article. Second Chance to Live Action Steps Revisited and Overview Part 1. In yesterday's article, Accepting Myself When Family and Friends Cannot, I shared a link to an article, Second Chance to Live Action Steps, as an addendum to that article. I wrote this article, Second Chance to Live Action Steps, in May of 2008. I decided to share the article as an addendum in yesterday's article because the information has been and continues to be a benefit to me. My hope is that the information will also be a benefit to you, my friend. As a friend encouraged me, I believe the information within this article will also benefit you, who experience a difficult time accepting themselves as an individual. In my experience, I found that working the 12 steps has helped me to accept myself in ways that I never dreamed possible. I will share this article in two parts. In the first part, I will share an overview. In the second part, I will share a synopsis. In both parts, what I share is from my own understanding. And now for part one of the article, an overview. Hello and welcome back to Second Chance to Live, my friend. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to visit with me. You're always welcome around my table. In my experience, I have found that I determine how I choose to experience my life. I'm not saying that I'm able to control people, places, and things and events, because I'm not. To think that I have the power to change people, places, and things is foolishness. With my awareness, I've come to the realization that having control or asserting control is merely an illusion of power. When I let go of the illusion of control, I'm able to accept that I'm powerless over people, places, and things. As I practice the power of acceptance, new doors are open to me. When I admit my powerlessness, I am able to admit my limitations. Through admitting my limitations, I discover that I'm not helpless. When I realized that I'm not helpless in my process, I had a spiritual awakening. Because I am not helpless, I'm able to take action steps. These action steps enable me to accept the things that I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and in the process learn to distinguish the difference between what I can change and what I cannot change. Through my process, I've grown to trust the power greater than myself. Consequently, I have made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of that power. In the process, I made the decision to become a proactive participant in my life. Subsequently, I have been empowered to change the things that I can. As a proactive participant in my life, the obvious becomes apparent. I needed to change my attitudes and the perspectives that I placed on my experiences. I needed to be honest with myself. I needed to be accountable to myself. I needed to keep the focus upon myself. I needed to take a fearless moral inventory of myself, not to berate who I am, but to free the negative energy of my character defects or defense mechanisms. Through my process, I discovered that my defects of character were in essence the defense mechanisms that I used to protect myself over time. Through examining my motives and by being honest with myself, I began to realize that my defense mechanisms were no longer serving me or enhancing my relationships. In actuality, I found that my defense mechanisms were hindering my ability to truly live my life. Through being honest with myself, I was slowly able to come out of hiding. My isolation was broken when I met with my sponsor and shared what I discovered about myself. As I trusted the process and shared my story, I discovered that I was not terminally unique. As my sponsor listened without judgment, I began to learn to trust again. In my trust, I became willing to have my defects of character removed. In the next action steps, I humbly asked God, the God of my understanding, to remove my character defects. My next action step involved making a list of the persons that I have harmed throughout my lifetime. I placed myself on that list. Next, I became willing to make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. In my process, I shared such amends with my sponsor before I attempted to make amends to those individuals. In the next action step, I made a decision to continue to be honest with myself and in the process keep my side of the street clean by continuing to make direct amends. Next, I made a decision to trust again by praying for the knowledge of God's will for me and the power to carry that out on a daily basis. In the final step, as a result of completing the previous 11 action steps, I had and continue to have spiritual awakenings. Consequently, I am motivated to share my experience, strength, and hope as I have the opportunity, such as here on Second Chance to Live. My spiritual awakenings also inspire me to practice the principles of the 12 steps in all my affairs. This is the conclusion of part one of this two-part article series, Second Chance to Live, Action Steps Revisited and Overview, part one. I want to thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you for the privilege of my being a part of your life and you being a part of my life. I look forward to hearing from you. In the event that you have questions again or comments, please send those to me. I'd love to hear from you. Let me also encourage you, my friend, as I need to encourage myself. Please do not give up on yourself, a loving God, or your process, because more is going to be revealed to you in time. The pieces of the puzzle will come together, and you will realize that what has been occurring in your life was really preparing you to be able to live the life that you had imagined. I'll say so long for now. God bless both you and your family, and have a great day. Thank you again for your time. Bye now.